Hey, unless you have been living under a rock and not out in these internet streets, you already know what's going on with the Giacomo Turra situation. I'm not going to give the full rundown with that. You can Google it, YouTube it, and stuff is going to come up. But he's been a naughty, naughty boy. And I understand, folks that have been associated with Giacomo are distancing themselves from him, as they probably should. But let's talk about it, man. Faking is really the symptom more than the sin. Most of us have been watching people mime and fake material for decades now. Whitney Houston, Beyonce. What artist have you ever seen in the last 20 some odd years that hasn't used, backing tracks? I played a lot of theater. I can't think of one theater production that I did that didn't have some level of additional vocals happening in the background. So that's not really the big idea to me. Now, keep watching. Now, listen, social media doesn't reward imperfection. Social media rewards perfection. And all of us we're experiencing music this way. But I don't know, sometimes faking it for people is, that's the way that they survive the algorithm, right? They get the views and everybody, people want the clout and all this stuff. And I can see it being a really tempting deal, especially for a young person who really cares about that and can see their whole lives change. Listen, here's a good place for me to tell you that if you are looking for a tool to help you really internalize music, Songmaster Pro is the way to go. This is the tool that I use and thousands of other musicians use to slow down music, isolate parts, loop parts, so that they can really learn that music so you don't have to be faking. It's linked below this video. Let's take Milli Vanilli. Now, I was around when that whole thing went down. We know what that was like, and we all laughed and joked. But think about it. These guys got vilified for lip syncing, and now people get famous, and they get lots of money for this. I saw a biopic on Milli Vanilli last year, and it really made me have a new respect for them. Listen, I think that that's a deal that a lot of us would have taken. Just imagine, just hang on for a second before you get mad at me. Listen, you're young. You're broke, you have a dream, you are decent looking. Sounds like an OnlyFans model almost. Don't come for me in the comments. Don't come for me in the comments. Listen, those guys wanted to come out and, they're like, okay, we'll do this, but now we want to sing. And Frank Farian wouldn't let them sing. And gosh, their whole lives changed. You think about it. You're a young person and you get a chance to make a deal with the devil. All of a sudden, overnight, you have everything you want. All the fame, all the girls and all this stuff. You can sit there and you could tell me that your 18 or 19, 20-year-old self, broken, impoverished. Hey, where's your line? Where do you draw the line? Now listen. We can agree 100% that stealing is completely different. So that's what the problem I have with Giacomo Turra is when you steal. That's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Note for note. Steal other people's material. Note for note. And then sell tab and monetize the material and the work of creators that are in relative obscurity compared to this guy. And he's traveling the world and he's getting endorsements and he's getting money and all that. Social media money it's real. It's real. AdSense, these deals, it's real. So I can see why people do certain things to like game the algorithm or whatever. And when I say game the algorithm, here's what I mean. I've been in YouTube a long time. And I used to feel this way, especially in the early days. Let's say you search for how to play a pentatonic scale on bass. You're going to get several different videos that come up. None of those people owns the pentatonic scale. What is unique to them is how they teach the pentatonic scale. The pentatonic scale is not owned by anyone. Now, if someone could trademark their own method of teaching, that's another thing. But let's say how to play a song, how to play Sweet Sticky Thing by the Ohio Players on bass. You might get 5 different videos. None of us own the rights to that song. And this is a good time for me to tell you about Groove School. It is linked below. It is my membership. I don't have a Patreon. That's where I do my thing. And you have direct access to me, exclusive content that doesn't go on YouTube. It's linked below this video. You know, there's like nothing new under the sun, is my point. But some people are going to gravitate to me. Some people are going to gravitate to Scott. Some people are going to gravitate to Josh, my boy Lauren. There's a lot of really great creators in the space. But we also have to, you know, as people who earn a living from YouTube, we're not just YouTubers, we're also business people. We're also entrepreneurs. And so, you know, you have to make content based around what people want. If nobody is searching for it, it won't get any views. It won't get any traction. And ultimately, it won't make any money. And then you stop eating or your lights get cut off. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. You know, I don't know. It's the stealing part that I have a problem with. So, I mean, you know, why do people in the bedrooms get judged harder than Whitney Houston or Beyonce? Why is that? Let me know in the comments. Why do you think we put a harsher judgment on those people and not superstars? Why do we give harsher criticism to people who use iPads on stage and not big artists who use teleprompters? This is the world we live in. I saw something. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I probably shouldn't say this. I might get in trouble. You know what? Here it is. I saw a young lady post something on in one of the bass forums. And, you know, she could obviously play. Obviously a good player. Obviously a good player. Was it the type of playing that I resonate with necessarily? Not necessarily. Not the type of music or whatever. But she was a good player. I assume she had recorded this audio and then mimed along to it. I did that in my video of People Make the World Go Round. I'll link it over here. But anyway, this young lady, if that is indeed her playing, was good playing. But she didn't plug her bass in. That bothered me because it almost said to me, hey, you're not smart enough to realize this. But the real thing that got me at first was her movements were so, in my opinion, her movements were so over-sexualized. I was like, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do all that? And then a couple of things happen. I'm like, you have to, examine your own bias. 2, so what? Everybody's got a little privilege somewhere. And you may not even think it. It's not for me to say you have a privilege or a power. What was the old song? Use what you got to get what you want. Listen, my point is, who am I to be like, oh, she shouldn't poke her breasts up and do. I mean, I have toothpaste on the whole video, toothpaste. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? You know, some people may not fit those boxes or whatever, and they found something else that they use that is visual, that helps them to survive the algorithm. It's a monster that you have to feed. That monster must be fed if you want to survive out in these internet streets. Now, listen, we can also say that I've heard people say the real harm is the next generation. You know, brand new players can't tell what's real and what's not real. Listen, there's a couple of things that I feel about that. Number one, music is changing. The way I just said, we consume music on our phone. A lot of us consume music on our phone and in small doses. We don't necessarily listen to albums and music all the way through like we used to. I come from a gigging background, playing with other people, showing up to a venue without a set list, without a rehearsal. I'm not saying that's always the case, but that happens more often than not. Hear the tunes, learn the tunes, go do the gig. That's the world that I come from. If as working musicians, we all know that the rates for gigs has not exponentially gone up over the last several decades. It's still relatively the same, right? Even though inflation. So for some players, the attraction may be, look, I can earn a lot more money making music in my bedroom than I do on gigs. Generationally, that's what they got. These are the tools that they have. Now, being able to cross over, I'm not trying to get off my lawn, but particularly with guitar players, you know, it's like, hey man, I could tell you've been doing all the shredding for the gram. I need you to play some rhythm. The band needs you to play some rhythm. The singer needs you to play some rhythm. Keyboard player didn't show up today. We need to get you playing some rhythm. So, I mean, there's that balance. What do you think? What do you think? Is this doing more harm and setting an unrealistic standard for a new generation of musicians? Or is it just the evolution of music, how we create it and how we consume it? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Where do we draw the line? Where do you draw your line? We can all agree that stealing is wrong. There is no gray area there. Stealing is wrong. The gray areas are, in my opinion, how much we fake online. And is it even worth it? I know for me, you know, I may record a lot of different takes of a video like this, and I edit the best parts and stuff like that to make the video make sense. But I don't even play my bass into a DAW. I use Ecamm Live. I'm a one-man operation, so I don't have time necessarily to go back and edit audio and video. So I want to record the audio and the video at one time and get that going in there. You know, and I like for people to have the feeling that you are actually in the room with me and we're hanging out and talking in the same room. But I'm not 19, 20 years old, you know, trying to get sponsorship deals and get clout and all that type of stuff. I think what Giacomo has done is really, you know, the jig is up for anyone else that's engaging in this type of behavior and that genre, because it's an entire genre of entertainment now. But where do you draw the line? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Two fingers.